రావు గారు జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి. రావు గారు
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురు గారు.
మొదలు పెడదామా?
మొదలు పెట్టచ్చు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురు గారు.
ఓం ఆపదామపహర్తారం దాతారం దర్పతం పదాం లోకాభిరామం శ్రీరామం భూగో భూగో నమామ్యహం. అలోజవం మారుతుల్యవేగం జితేంద్రియం బుద్ధిమతాం వరిష్టం వాతాత్మజం మానరయూధముఖ్యం శ్రీరామదూతం శిరసా నమామి. భద్రాచలా శ్రీ సీతారామాయ నమః ప్రార్థనాం సమర్పయామి. రావు గారు
జై శ్రీరామ్. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి గురువు గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్ టు ఎవ్రీవన్ దోస్ హూ ఆర్ ఆన్ the call today. Hearty welcome for each and everyone those who are taking the time to join this call through all over the world. This event is being live telecasted on the website and also being recorded to store it under the Kalpavruksham page of jaishriram.org. So today is one of the very auspicious day. Just now, as Guru Garu has mentioned, it is Sri Hanuma Jayanti. So on the auspicious day of Hanuma Jayanti, having this Kalpavruksham is truly a great blessings. So today's blessed Atithi is Kumari Rajalakshmi Shivani Kavuluru, joining us from California, USA. Kumari Rajalakshmi Shivani is blessed with several talents. One of the blessed talent is learning the philosophy with dedicated interest and attaining double major in religious and ethical philosophy, along with the great art of creative writing in English, which is a very rare skill. So really it is a blessed opportunity that is showered on this Atithi today. And on all top of this, Kumari Rajalakshmi's heart is all the time at helping others. So with that, today the Atithi has selected a topic with the blessings from Guru Garu. A modern literary analysis of Ramayana and its application to the dignity everyone deserves. So most of the time, we only see the most visible characters, visible actions, visible information that is available in Ramayana, but sometimes we don't get the opportunity to look into how we can apply it. So that is the topic which this Atithi has taken today. So without any further delay, with Guru Garu's blessings on behalf of everyone on this call today here, and as well as on behalf of the Seva group, let us welcome the Atithi Kumari Rajalakshmi Shivani Kavuluru Garu to take the wonderful opportunity to tell about this blessed topic today. Hearty welcome, Andi. You please kindly go ahead and get started.
आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो
Thank you. Jai Shri Ram, everyone. Rao Garu, may I begin the presentation, or was there one more thing to be done?
No, Lindy, you can start, Andy. You can start the presentation.
Thank you. Namaskaram to everyone here today. Thank you, Guru Garu and his blessed team for this opportunity, that too during such an important month. It is Ambedkar Jayanti, Dalit History Month, Ramadan, Tamil New Year, Easter, Passover, Good Friday, Vaishakhi, Ramanavami, and as Guru Garu also said, it's Hanuman Jayanti. I'm truly so humbled and blessed to give a presentation during such an auspicious time. Before I begin my presentation, I want to first thank my gurus, my parents, my mentors, and anybody who has shown me the right way in this life. I am eternally grateful for your good teachings and wisdom. I also want to acknowledge the Ohlone tribe whose unceded land I'm presenting from today, and pay respects to all the indigenous people of the world. Next slide, Amma. So this is an overview of my topic. I chose this because I believe life happens in the gray areas, but we as a society are too focused on black and white extremes. The Ramayana is not so simple that Ram is good, Ravan is bad, end of story. Then it would not be this amazing religious epic that we know today. It would be just one sentence. Stories and religious poems are much more complicated than that. So today, I hope I can show you some of the nuances in the Ramayana and ultimately what we can all do to embrace the lessons of nuance in our daily lives. I believe the brightest students can seek wisdom from anywhere. So, while I have chosen to talk about the Ramayana today with you all, I hope we can keep our eyes and ears open to the different opportunities to learn, unlearn, and relearn in a lifelong journey of becoming the best humans we can be for Earth and every creature on Earth. Next slide, Amma. So, I know that I might be speaking to a blessed crowd that knows the Ramayana better than me. So with that humility, I will say that I will just give a brief overview, and definitely at the end of the presentation, if anyone wants to impart wisdom on me, I humbly accept it. So just a brief overview. What is the Ramayana? So Ramayana is the ancient religious epic poem. It's one of the most important ones, not just in Hindu literature, but as a guide for how to be the best person we can be in general. It follows the adventures of Prince Rama as he rescues his wife Sita from King Ravana. But more than that, the Ramayana is just a story about morality, faith, how to be a do-gooder, how to do the right thing, and how to have the right intentions at heart no matter what. In fact, this epic poem is composed of rhyming couplets called shlokas in high Sanskrit in a complex linguistic meter. And these verses are then grouped into individual chapters called sargas, with each containing one specific event or intent or lesson that we can take. And the sargas are grouped into books called kandas. In Ramayana, there are 7 kandas. Next slide, please. You may notice this slide has no words. However, if you look closer, you may realize that the artist who drew this was actually able to put the entire story of Ramayana in this holy depiction. You can see Rama breaking Shiva's bow, the exile, Ravan capturing Sita, Sita showing her loyalty with help of Lord Agni, so that Rama's kingdom will not assume he is biased for blindly making exceptions for Dharma for Sita after he rescues Sita from Lanka. We can see Rama and Sita's Pattabhishekam, and even very cute Lava and Kusha. That is why I wanted to share this amazing art piece before we dive into the Ramayanam as told by Valmiki. I'm a pretty curious person by nature, and I ask a lot of questions. So, one of the first questions I'd asked my mom was, Mummy, why Valmiki? Tulsidas version is there. So many other versions are there. How come this version? It was not until I actually started reading Valmiki's version of the Ramayanam that the book itself answered the questions, and Valmiki's own words within the book provided the book's legitimacy and credibility. It was a beautiful occurrence, and I look forward to reading the entire text again and again, learning more new things each time, as I believe there are many angles to look at a story from. And that is one of the main ideas of my presentation today, nuance. So we definitely don't have time to be hyper-focused on all the great locations in the Ramayanam. However, I did want to include some 13 locations to be familiar with, so everyone can just take a couple seconds to look at that, and we can go on with the presentation. Next, Amma. Thank you. So, as someone who loves astronomy, science, and logic, another question I asked my parents was about timelines. When did this story take place? What are the time breakdowns? What's the setting and how did everything go? And the answers came from the Vedas. In fact, there are 4 yugas I learned: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Our Ramayanam takes place in the Treta Yuga, otherwise known as the Silver Age. One interesting thing that I noticed was, starting from the first order, from the first age, each yuga's length decreases by 1/4, about 25%, giving the proportions of 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then if you see the number of Vishnu avatars in each of the yugas, it also goes like 4, 3, 2, and then 1. In fact, in the Treta Yuga, we have the incarnations of the 5th, 6th, and 7th Vishnu avatars, Vamana, Parashurama, and the hero of our story today, Lord Rama. Next slide, Amma. Ramayanam teaches us that heroes and wisdom can come from anywhere and anyone. So, as Blessed Raugaru said, I learned in college from my gurus about how to write a story and what are the qualities of a hero. And my gurus in college taught me that in story writing, every hero must have certain good qualities in order to make them a hero or the protagonist in a story. And in the religious epic of Ramayanam, Rama is known as the ultimate goal to be the best man, the best human. So when I was learning the qualities, which were coincidentally 16, my mother also taught me that there are 16 Sugunalu, which describe Rama's great qualities. And here is where my vision and my opinion of nuance comes in. Yes, Lord Rama is undoubtedly the hero of this story, and you can see the 16 qualities that only he champions completely and fully. But can other characters in the Ramayanam champion some of these qualities also? Can they also have heroic tendencies? Can the characters that we thought were villains actually have hero qualities when we look at things from a different perspective? I say yes. Let us not forget the wisdom and bravery and moral lessons that all the characters in the Ramayana have to teach us. In my opinion, the Ramayana is a tale of many heroes. Next, Amma. Now, on to the righteous Lord Ram. The godliness of Rama comes from the fact that no matter what adversity, what troubles came his way, he always handled it with a calm composure, bravery, and a good heart. Even though he was forced for 14 years in exile, he did not blame destiny. He did not show any bitterness for those who put him in that position. He made the forest his home and he enjoyed life there without any shred of resentment in his heart. This calmness of Rama should not be misunderstood as helplessness. He was equally forceful in carrying out dharma and making sure to right the wrongs. Taking on Ravana, who had the backing of a well-established empire of his own, should have been a difficult thing, especially for someone who is left to fend for himself in the jungle. But Rama organized an army and inspired them amidst everything and every hardship that he was going through. His leadership qualities are evident when he organized the army of the Vanaras. And they were openly willing to give their life to Lord Ram and his cause to save Sita. His belief and his leadership can be age-old lessons in governance that can be applied today as well. Next slide. Lakshman had very great heroic qualities too, in my opinion. No one told Lakshman to follow Ram into the forest, to be exiled, to let go of his life in the kingdom, to follow Ram into war. What Ram was commanded to do as a punishment, Lakshman volunteered out of the bigness of his heart and his sibling love for his brother Ram. Another thing that you can take from Lakshman is he is a very brave and courageous brother. From a young age, whatever Rama was learning, Lakshman was by his side, learning too. And Lakshman has another great quality. Lakshman is open to learning from everybody, even the ones who are stereotypically the wrongdoers in stories. For example, Ravan. Now, this small aside is not mentioned in Valmiki's version, just to clarify, but the reason I wanted to include this is I believe it's very valuable still. In Valmiki's version of Ramayanam, Ravana's death is instantaneous and Rama supports Vibhishan to perform the funeral rites to Ravan, while the Lanka family all revere what made Ravan great and talk about his great qualities and how they wish he had still been alive today. Still, I want to share this moment that I found online because to me, I believe that Lakshman and Rama were such humble men that they absolutely would be open to learning from each and every character, even their enemies. Even though Ravan might not have directly told Lakshman all these qualities, according to sage Valmiki, I think even just by witnessing Ravana and all of his scholarlyship and greatness, I'm sure Lakshman and Rama learned a lot about leadership and philosophy. Next slide, Amma. So, as I was saying, I think Ravana is very religious for Shiva, repentful, and a rounded scholar. And I hope the value of these lessons is appreciated because it is very meaningful. For me, it shows the nuance and richness of each character and shows multiple angles of them. Just like how my Akka did a presentation entirely on Ravan, I think moments like this or good to pause and absorb all the lessons which are available to us. Ravan, as I said, was very well rounded. He was devoutly religious to Lord Shiva. In fact, he composed the Shiva Tandav Stotram. He was a great scholar, a loving and protective brother, and a musically gifted king. There were things about Ravan that we could all actually learn from and aspire as well. Ravan is not void completely of good or heroic qualities. He serves as a good example, though, that ultimately our choices will lead to consequences, just like they did for Ravan at the end of the Ramayanam. Because depending on our intentions at heart and the impact of the choices we make, we have the power to make history in good or bad ways. And these are the things that we can learn from Ravan. Next slide, Amma. The courageous and brave Sita. I just want to say that Sita Ammavaru is not a damsel in distress. Even when she was captured by Ravan and was in so much danger, she still stayed composed. She stood up for herself too. She never budged, and she showed immense patience, which we can all learn from. Her resolve that Ravana can be defeated and Rama will surely come was unshaking and very firm. In fact, as you can see in this photo, even when Hanuman offered to fly her away with his powers, away from Lanka and straight to Ram's hands, she told Hanuman respectfully that she knew that was not how her freedom should happen. And also, Sita, like Lakshman, never thought twice in accompanying her husband, Lord Ram, in the hardship of exile and the forest life. In many ways, Sita Ammavaru is also a brave single mother. She's a strong woman who even questioned why Rama kept on asking her to prove her purity. No one usually dares question Rama, but Sita Amma, as a wife, as a mother, had every right to ask Rama why. For me, she will always remain a symbol of fearlessness, independence, and strong will. And you can see some of the pictures that I've selected. I thought they were very adorable to see Sita Amma being such a strong and powerful mom, just cuddling Lava and Kusha. It brought lots of smiles to my face. So I hope it does for you guys too. Next slide. Helpful Hanuman. First of all, happy Hanuman Jayanti, everyone. Here are some characteristics from Hanuman that stood out for me. And there's several other qualities that Hanuman is known for, which all of us should imbibe in one form or another. I have perseverance, pragmatism, strength, a sense of humor. But by this, I don't mean jokes. I mean the ability to have good spirits, even when times are dark. And above all, selflessness, loyalty, and humility. Next slide. So, my dad always says that mindset and attitude can help us tackle even the toughest of situations. It's not a magic solution, but it makes tackling those hurdles a little bit better. This embodies the nature of Hanuman. We can see from Hanuman that not only is he an immensely loyal, devout friend of Lord Ram and everyone that means the world to Lord Ram, like Lakshman and Sita, and in the entire kingdom of Ayodhya. But we can also see from Lord Hanuman that when times were tough and when Lakshman was injured, and even Lord Ram was very scared for his brother's life and what would happen, Hanuman remained composed. In fact, he assured Rama that he would go and find the solution and bring back these amazing, miraculous healing plants that would not only heal Lakshman, but also help to heal the injured folks who were fighting for saving Mother Sita. Hanuman is incredibly powerful and very strong, but he's also strong at heart. He is one of the characters in the Ramayanam that has, in my opinion, the biggest heart. He is very kind and very loving, and there are many great things that we can learn from Lord Hanuman as well. Next slide. Up next, the one and only Kumbhakarna. I wanted to make it a big slide of its own, just so we can show the magnitude of the person that was Kumbhakarna. Next slide. So, obviously, bear with me, I cannot read in high Sanskrit, but I have chosen a quote from the Sarga 62 in Yuddha Khanda, and I will read the English version to you. O king, for what purpose have I been woken up by you with effort? Tell me, for whom is this danger? For you here, and who is to be killed? This is what Kumbhakarna asks when he is awoken from his deep slumber. And he is awoken because Ravan needs Kumbhakarna's help on the battlefield, because Ravan severely underestimated the power and resolve of Ram's army. But very interesting thing about Kumbhakarna is it said that he was very fair and loyal and righteous. He was very intellectual, very powerful. And contrary to popular belief, Kumbhakarna was not obsessed with war. He didn't seek it out unnecessarily. He was also inclined to be a great philosopher and spent a lot of time praying and admiring Lord Vishnu. In other words, another incarnation of the Lord Rama we know and love. Observing his genuine character and interest, it's said that Narada Muni himself had taught him philosophy. So, we know that when he woke up and came to know that his brother Ravan had kidnapped Lord Rama's wife Sita Amma, and this war had prevailed, he went to his brother and tried to convince him to go to Lord Rama and ask for forgiveness for abducting Sita. Kumbhakarna actually tried his best to make Ravan understand that what he was doing was actually wrong. In the next slide, we can see that Kumbhakarna said, the same bad consequences which was imagined by us earlier while taking the final decision after our consultation is faced by you now, due to the utter disregard of the words spoken by your well-wishers. Here in Sarga 63, Kumbhakarna is telling Ravan that he should not have ignored the advice from all of his well-wishers in his court, especially like Vibhishan, who was trying to make sure that Ravan did not make a deadly and catastrophic mistake for himself and his kingdom. Kumbhakarna even goes on to say, action done perversely, regardless of space and time, gets spoiled, like offering oblations without proper and just making the fire properly and well prepared. So, in many ways, Kumbhakarna was begging and pleading Ravan to please not go through with these actions that are just high-strung on emotion and ego and anger, and to give in to humility, forgiveness, and having a humble heart and going to Lord Rama and seeking forgiveness. But Ravana did not listen. So eventually Kumbhakarna did go to war in the name of Ravan. However, Kumbhakarna knew his fate. He still went to fight Lord Rama, even though he knew that his death would probably be at the hands of Lord Rama. But as he was a huge devotee of Lord Vishnu, he was technically also a devotee of Lord Rama too. So when Lord Rama's arrow shot Kumbhakarna, he achieved moksha. He may be a giant, but he is gentle. in many ways. So this is about Kumbhakarna. Now tell me, would you not want a guru like Ravan, a loyal, loving brother like Lakshman, a best friend like Hanuman, a wife like Sita, a mother like Sita, or a husband like Rama? Next slide. And I will just take a sip of water. Thank you so much. So, okay, that was Dharma in the Treta Yuga. But what are the implications today? Dharma and goodness in the Kali Yuga might look bleak at first, especially in these quotes from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It says in the Kali Yuga, wealth alone will be considered a sign of man's good birth, proper behavior, and that law and justice will be replaced by those who are corrupt and in power. They talk about how the earth will see famine and suffer greatly, and how the earth will not be able to environmentally sustain the corruption and greed of the people on earth. So this does look a little bleak considering we are in the Kali Yuga right now. But hope is not lost. Let's go to the next slide, Amma. So there is hope, I believe. In my heart of hearts, I believe there is still hope. And guess who that hope is? You. You all can be that hope. How? Here are a couple steps that I believe we can all be the hope and goodness in the Kali Yuga, and for everyone and every creature and every tree branch and every glade of grass that lives on earth today. Step 1. Actually acknowledge the problems and suffering around you. Pretending not to see it is a privilege. Step 2. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. If growth and maturity were easy to achieve, we would all be enlightened by now. Step 3. Talk to your family and friends and neighbors and have debates and dialogues with them. And be open-minded about something that you might strictly believe one way, but maybe after a conversation, you could see it in a different light. Step 4. In the previous yugas, we see all these amazing gods with all these powers. But I believe you don't have to be a god to be a positive change in this world. The other yugas might have had all these gods, but I believe there is a bit of God and light and love and divinity in each and every single one of us. And together, we can do wonders. So, coming to my thesis, how can these Ramayanam qualities translate to the present day? Here's a real life example. My Nana always says that luck favors the prepared. In other words, expect the unexpected. I had no idea that I would be sick a week before this presentation with a cold and a headache. And then my Nana's words were ringing in my head. Luck favors the prepared. No matter what we do, I knew that just like the lessons my dad was trying to tell me, it is wise and important to give things love and dedication in advance and always have a healthy buffer so that every time you give your word, no matter what it is, you can give your 150% with all your heart and rest assured that you have created a time and buffer for you to carry out this task fully and completely. Now, I have some other lessons here, which for me translated from the Ramayanam for the present day. And I will make sure that I read a couple of them just to be mindful of time. So, defensiveness is a human reflex to protect the ego. And that life lessons can come from the past as long as we make sure that the past guides us to the future. So these are not just words in some scripture that Valmiki wrote. The Ramayanam can be a guide for life itself. And I hope everyone today knows that you don't need to do all the great things in the world by yourself. But if you do small things with great love, this world will be a better place. Next slide. Talk to your family about all kinds of discrimination. The Ramayanam can teach us to help everyone, especially those who are fighting battles alone and need support from those with privilege. Schools in California are trying to offer protections for those who come from caste-oppressed backgrounds and have been bullied and marginalized. Just like the LGBTQ community, people of color, disabled people, we must protect everyone like Rama and Hanuman would and make sure no one's pain is ignored or invisible. The simplest step that you all can do today that can make rippling effects and have great changes is simply talking to your family about those elephants in the room. If Rama ignored the plight of Sugriv, maybe the Varanas would not be so quick, the Vanaras, to lay their lives down for Lord Ram and jump into war. And the moral here also is, if Vibhishan refused to help Lord Rama, even when he had the ability and privilege to do so, Rama might have had a longer journey to defeating Ravan. Talking about his brother Ravan must not have been easy for Vibhishan. But human rights journeys are seldom easy, and we must all take the right path like Lord Ram. I hope we can all trust that on the other side of discomfort, there is a beautiful and big change waiting. And I will wrap up by showing you some charities that are close to my heart. And just a disclaimer that these charities did not ask me to put their names here today. I have worked for some of these civil rights organizations myself, and that is why I put them in the last slides for everyone. Because the Ramayana teaches everyone to give folks a chance to be good and fair. And sometimes our legal system in the present day does not even give people second chances. So if you want to make a difference in the world and the lives of marginalized people, or save the environment, prevent global warming, or support those who are suffering in the world, and you have the privilege to do so, here are some places where you can do that. First is the Black TGI Leadership Group, where you can help incarcerated people have a second chance at life. And Survival is an international organization that provides charity and support for Indigenous communities all around the world. And in the next slide, you can see there's the Trevor Project, which helps save LGBTQ lives. You can see that, as I said, it's Dalit History Month, so there are several ways to help the caste-oppressed communities. There's Keeping Tucson Together, which connects families, and so many other things. And I believe that we can all make this change starting today. Next slide, which is just the bibliography. And my final slide is, let's all help the world to grow, and let's all grow to be kinder human beings together. Thank you, Guru Garu. Thank you to my Amma and Nana for really helping me with my millions and thousands of questions. Thank you to all my gurus. Thank you to all my teachers. Thank you most of all also to the coordinators who helped give me this blessed opportunity today and helping me guide through the process of this Kalparuksham. Thank you to my brother and family and cousins and my best friends who always have philosophical dialogues with me no matter the hour. And thank you also to the people that have caused me pain and who have hurt me, because I learned amazing things from you as well. Thank you, everyone. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. And once again, thank you, Guru Garu, for this blessed opportunity on this auspicious day. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram Andi, very wonderful and informative session Andi. So with that, let us come back to the normal mode, Charita Garu. Now, before going to the questions, what we would like to request every audience on this call is, if there are kids who learned about this topic today, and if they are interested to participate in the essay writing, please be on video on, and please mention your name, email address on the Zoom chat screen, because we would like to make sure that you attended this Kalpavruksham event and you listen to it and you are interested to take participation. And by giving your email address, you will be getting the instructions on how to be part of the essay writing. So with that, Bhargav garu, please coordinate for the question and answer Sunday. Sorry, Charita garu.
Yeah, Jai Sri Ram Rao garu.
Just check if anyone have any questions, Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, do you have any questions? Yeah, nothing in chart list only.
Adinarayan Rao is raising his hand.
Yeah, raising his hand, yes.
Questions kaadu. Just I want to comment. So very good job, Rajalakshmi. Very nice presentation. So our real inheritance is not the wealth or land or houses, but it is our character which we get from our parents. And you are clearly reflected that in your speech by thanking your parents and what kind of knowledge and character they inculcated in you. That's very good. And like any stories, like we learn the stories as stories themselves, and as you go by, you go and probe deeper and deeper, and what is the meaning of this, or what can I learn from this, right? In some one situation, Rama says, all of you helped me. I will not wish that I want to do the return the favor, because that's in turn asking you to fall in trouble first, then only I can go and come. So yeah, this is actually, those are the kind of very subtle messages you will get by reading it closely multiple times. We focus so much on science and mathematics, learning, relearning, by hearting. So in that process, we forget all these things our elders are giving that knowledge, and you are getting all those messages in helping other people and all. Very good job. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andi. Jai Shri Ram. Thank you so much for the wisdom also.
Thank you. Anybody else want to say something about Rajalakshmi? Valligar, go ahead.
Jai Sri Ram Andi. Shivani chala baga chesavamma. Very well researched and very thought provoking input from you. So as Adinarayan Rao garu said, getting the nuances from this, and we have been reading Ramayanam for more than 1 year, and second time also, but not sure whether even I got a half spoonful of the essence of it. Instead of memorizing various characters and things like that, getting the essence is the most important, which you have done in a very short time period. Reading, you quoting Yudhishthira from Yuddhakanda, Kumbhakarna's, the key points and all is really awesome. So please continue that. And I know you have read various other religions also. So having that tolerance from across the religions and getting the essence of it is very important. And spreading it with others is the most important one, which you have done. Thank you, and please keep doing it.
Thank you so much, Valli garu. And thank you also once again to my Amma and Nana. You guys answered all my questions, and I could not do this presentation without your support and your love and your patience. And also, if anyone is there watching who knows more than me, than Ramayanam, which is very, very likely, because all of you are experts in this subject matter, please teach me. I'm very open to listening to what all wisdom you can impart to me. I don't think this is just a presentation where I talk. I can also listen. So if anyone has some great things that they would like to tell me today on these topics, my ears and my heart is open. Jai Shri Ram.
Good, Amma. So, anybody else? Okay. చాలా సంతోషం అమ్మా రాజలక్ష్మి. నేను ఏం అనుకున్నానో దానికంటే ఎక్కువే బాగా చెప్పాము. ఎక్సలెంట్ అమ్మా. సో ఓవరాల్ గా ఫస్ట్ నుంచి లాస్ట్ వరకు కవర్ చేసి సో మంచి మంచి పాయింట్స్ ని అక్కడ సో అందరికి చెప్పామమ్మా. ఎక్సలెంట్ అమ్మా. సో ఇలాంటి ప్రెజెంటేషన్స్ నీ నుంచి ఇంకా ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తాం మేము. సో శుభారంభం చేశాం. సో మంచిగా ప్రారంభం చేసామమ్మా. ఎక్సలెంట్ అమ్మా. సో గాడ్ బ్లెస్ యూ. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ మీ ఈ ఏజ్ లో సో ఇలాంటివన్నీ సో ఈ ప్రెజెంటేషన్స్ అన్ని సో అవి చాలా ఇన్స్పిరేషనల్ గా ఉంటాయి. సో అంతేకాకుండా మన ఫ్యూచర్ జనరేషన్స్ ఇప్పుడు వినే పిల్లలకు కూడా సో ఇన్స్పిరేషన్స్ గా ఉంటూ సో ఇవన్నీ ఇలాంటి కార్యక్రమాల్లో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయడం, సో తర్వాత మనం కూడా ఇన్వాల్వ్ కావడం, మనం కూడా ప్రజెంట్ చేయడం అనేది సో పిల్లలకి అందరికీ కావాలి. సో ఎక్సలెంట్ జాబ్. గాడ్ బ్లెస్ యూ నాన్న. సో హోప్ థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఇంకెవరు నోబడి ఆర్ కమింగ్. వి డోంట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ అదర్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కాబట్టి సమ్మా చరితమ్మా
గురుగారు
మనము రావు గారు ఉన్నారా?
ఉన్నారు గురుగారు.
గురుగారు, if you allow me a few things.
హనుమంతరావు గారు మాట్లాడుతున్నారు, చెప్పండి ప్లీజ్ గో అహెడ్.
And so first of all, I would like to so thank you Guru Garu and also the whole Ram Parivar for giving us such an so wonderful opportunity to speak on this platform. And she had opportunities before to speak on other subjects, and then this is the first time she spoke on this subject. And personally, I am also very curious on how she would go about it, and then what her perspective would be in this on this subject. And so throughout the journey, she asked many questions. Hopefully, so some of those questions got answered, and then may Lord Ram give her more opportunities to kind of delve deep in the subject, and also to kind of answer more questions, and also make her like a well-rounded personality, so that she can go on her life and then achieve whatever she wants to. So being that nice person, and then going to create like an impact on the society. So so God bless you, Shivani, and I wish you all the best. And thanks once again for providing her the opportunity.
Jai Shri Ram. My adrishtam to have parents like you, Amma and Nana. Thank you so much. I'm blessed in this life to have parents like you. Very lucky. Something I must have done right. Thank you.
Thank you, Guru Garu. Thank you.
And thank you, Guru Garu. Thank you, everyone, once again. And happy Hanuman Jayanti.
చాలా సంతోషం.
చాలా చక్కగా చెప్పావమ్మా. It's a very applicative one, which I liked it. So it's very useful even for children also, like those who are attending the Ramayanam class. You have analyzed the characters, which is in the part of a matured person. So on the whole, you did a very good work. And, you are very, very young. In spite of it, we all appreciated, we all liked the way you presented the topic. It's very nice, very nice. All the best, Ali.
You're on mute.
Yeah, excellent presentation, Shivani. You did very well. God bless you, Amma.
Thank you so much, Auntie. Thank you so much. Andarki thank you.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
గో అహెడ్ అమ్మా. ఉదయలక్ష్మి గారు.
అమ్మా ఎంత బాగా చెప్పావు తల్లి. అసలు ఎంత బాగుందంటే మాకు ఏ జన్మలో చేసుకున్న పుణ్యంతోని శ్రీరామ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లో చేరాము. ఈ రామాయణం మేము ఇప్పుడిప్పుడే మొదలు పెట్టామమ్మా. అది చిన్న అడుగులు వేస్తారంటారు చూడు అలా. కానీ నీకు ఇంత చిన్నతనంలోనే యు అనలైజ్డ్ ధర్మ ఇన్ త్రేతాయుగా, అండ్ ద పాసిబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఫాలోయింగ్ అండ్ ఎక్స్టెండింగ్ ధర్మ టు ఈ కలియుగంలో కూడా చెయ్యొచ్చు విత్ అంటే ఎవరో కాదు మన నుంచే స్టార్ట్ కావాలని ఒక పాయింట్ రేస్ చేసావు. ఇంకొకటి మనం ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేసేది అన్ఎక్స్పెక్టెడ్ థింగ్స్ మన జీవితంలో వస్తుంటాయి. అది ఎక్సలెంట్ పాయింట్ అమ్మా. ఇంత చిన్నదానివైనా ఎంత బాగా అర్థం చేసుకున్నావు తల్లి. ఆ శ్రీరామచంద్రుడి కరుణ ఎప్పుడు నీ మీద ఉండాలని, జీవితాంతం సుఖ సంతోషాలతో ఆయురారోగ్యాలతో ఉండాలని మనసారా దీవిస్తున్నాను తల్లి. గాడ్ బ్లెస్ యూ. యూఆర్ సో బ్లెస్డ్ టు హ్యావ్ సచ్ ఎ నైస్ పేరెంట్స్, గురువు గారు అండ్ యువర్ ఎంటైర్ కమ్యూనిటీ. అందరు ఇలాంటి కమ్యూనిటీలో నువ్వు అంటే ఇటువంటి రామ పరివారంలో ఉండడం అనేది ఏ జన్మలో నువ్వు చేసుకున్న పుణ్యం తల్లి. చాలా అదృష్టవంతురాలు అమ్మ. ఐ బ్లెస్ యూ ఆల్, ఐ బ్లెస్ యూ ఆల్ నాన్న. నీకు శ్రీరామ రక్ష, సర్వ జగత్ రక్ష. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి. ఆపర్చునిటీ నాకు ఇచ్చినందుకు చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉందమ్మా. జై శ్రీరామ్ గురువు గారు.
చాలా చాలా సంతోషం.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఆంటీ.
చాలా సంతోషం.
అంతా మా పేరెంట్స్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
వెరీ వెరీ గుడ్ అమ్మా. ఇదేంటంటే
శివాని, నైస్ ప్రెజెంటేషన్. గాడ్ బ్లెస్ యూ బేటా. జై శ్రీరామ్ గురువు గారు.
చాలా సంతోషం. మనకు ఒక స్టెప్ పెడితే భగవంతుడు 100 స్టెప్ పెట్టిస్తారు అని అంటారు. మా ముందు నుంచి మనకి అది నమ్మకం. మనం ఒక స్టెప్ మనం పెట్టాలి. శివాని కూడా చాలా పెట్టింది, 100 స్టెప్స్ ముందుకు నడుచుకొని వెళ్ళిపోయింది. సో అది ఎప్పుడు భగవద్ అనుగ్రహము మనకి అలా లభిస్తూనే ఉంటుంది. మనం ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్ పెట్టేదే మనం చాలా టైం తీసుకుంటాము. కాకపోతే వన్స్ వి పుట్ ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్ ఇట్ మేక్స్ అస్ టు పుట్ 100 స్టెప్స్. చాలా చక్కగా చెప్పావు నాన్న. సో హోప్ మనం కన్క్లూడ్ చేద్దామా? ఇంకెవరు లేదు కాబట్టి. ఓం స్వస్తి ప్రజాభ్యః పరిపాలయంతాం న్యాయేన మార్గేణ మహీమహీషాః గోబ్రాహ్మణేభ్యః శుభమస్తు నిత్యం. లోకాః సమస్తాః సుఖినో భవంతు. సర్వే జనాః సుఖినో భవంతు. తపత్తదం మంగళాని భవంతు. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. మంచిదండి అందరికి. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి. నెక్స్ట్ కల్పవృక్షంలో కలుద్దాం. జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురువు గారు.
జై శ్రీరామ్ గురువు గారు. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
ఒక్క నిమిషం శివానికి బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ ఇస్తాను. ఓం ప్రణోదేవి తరత్తదేవాదే బిర్బాజనీమతే దీనామవిద్యవత్ వాగ్దేవ్యై నమః. సద్విద్యా సద్బుద్ధి సద్బుద్ధ్యోగ సత్కళ్యాణ ప్రాప్తిరస్తు. భద్రాచరత్తే సీతారామచంద్ర స్వామి పరిపూర్ణ కృపాకటాక్షతిరస్తు. మంచిది అందరికి. జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి అందరికి.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సర్తిగా. జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
థ్యాంక్స్ అండి. జై శ్రీరామ్.
జై
శ్రీరామ్ శివాని. జై శ్రీరామ్ నాన్న.
ఆంటీ కూడా వచ్చారు.
I know. Thank you so much.